Thank you. I'm delighted to be here with you all today in this great panel of exciting thought leader women that are changing the world, actually, by the action that they are taking. It's quite interesting that we're a panel of women. I don't believe that sustainability should only be the focus for women. I'm glad to see that in the audience it's a share of men and women, and that we are collaborating on this issue together in order to leave a more sustainable world to our children by all the innovation that we are able to drive collectively. So, I am Public Affairs and Sustainability Director at Dassault Systems. How does that fit into all the discussion that we have had already with the great panelists that presented to you what they were working on to achieve more sustainable model? Well, Dassault Systems is a software company. We are providing 3D technologies, 3D software, and product lifecycle management software. Basically, in short, we have been driving product innovation in the industry for the past 30 years. We really are at the heart of product development in the industry. So when I joined the company in 2008, it was a time where the company was redefining itself around a new purpose, which was to provide business and people with 3D experience universes, and I'll explain to you what that means, to be able to imagine sustainable innovation. So we were really redefining our purpose around sustainable innovation. Basically, what we were saying was that for the past 30 years or so, we had helped the industry to design, produce, and make products, and what we wanted to do was to be able to help this industry manufacture, design, and manufacture products that was going to be able to harmonize product, nature, and life, so that there could be truly sustainable innovation. So when I joined the company, I went to our CEO, Bernard Charles, who is leading the company for the past 2 decades, and told him, I think we need to build a sustainable innovation lab. And I'm a lawyer by background, so I'm not an engineer, and I need proof, I need evidence. And at that time, really working with our customer, what I felt was that we heard a lot already, obviously in 2008, about sustainability, but I was lacking proof point, and I wanted to put forward proof point of what was the innovation that were happening in the industry with whom we were working so closely. And it was a bit of a challenge, actually, because the CEO was telling me, well, you know, sustainability should be everything that we do. It should be totally integrated into our product offer, product portfolio. What Dassault Systems has been doing in terms of technology was 3D design. So really, we had a promise already on reducing prototypes, for example, with virtualization and virtual prototypes. Product lifecycle management, so we were allowing the industry to really truly manage the full product development step through a lifecycle approach. And so it was a bit challenging for him to let me actually start the Sustainable Innovation Lab. And basically, how did I convince him? I told him, you know, we've been working with the industry for so long within the product development team. There is a full new team that is currently emerging in the industry, which is the sustainability team. But I feel that they are a bit lost and on the side, and focusing a lot about publishing ambitious sustainability plan that they can communicate outside to demonstrate their leadership on the sustainability topic. Yet, those teams are not fully connected to the product development team. And we need to address the sustainability team, and we need to connect them to the product development team in order really for sustainable innovation to happen. So that's how I started the lab in 2008, and it was quite interesting because 2008, so I joined at the end of 2008, December. In 2009 was Copenhagen. So now it's been 6 years, and 6 years, Copenhagen in 2009. It's going to be the conference of parties in Paris this year at the end of 2015. Basically, in 2009, in terms of the atmosphere that we had on sustainability and specifically climate change, was, I believe that there was a strong public pressure. There was a strong public awareness of the need to really get to this international agreement to get to carbon emission targets and objectives per country. Really, you know, you would talk in the media, we would talk about it, you would be in the street talking with your friends, and you would talk about it, even though it was in Copenhagen and not in Paris. And here, as we will be holding the Conference of Parties in 2015 right in Paris, I feel like the public opinion is not as much concerned as it was 6 years ago. So what I want to now describe to you is what happened during those 6 years, running the lab, what we have been able to witness, what has happened really, what the industry has been doing, even though there was not so much this public opinion pressure, even though there is still public policies, obviously, that are trying to drive. I have a European perspective, obviously, a little bit. Even though we are a global company, we are headquartered in Paris, so I kind of have this European perspective embedded, and we have been obviously setting emission target and so on for a little while. But the industry did not wait really for public pressure, did not wait for public policy. And I truly agree that public policy is a driver for innovation, but I believe that it is not the only one in the sustainability field. Obviously, I think, and here representing my company, I truly believe that technology is a strong driver for innovation, and this is what we have seen. And I think what is amazing in Ford's speech today is that Sheryl never talked about a car. I was struck. I mean, she never really talked about a car as being a trend. She talked about new usage, she talked about new behaviors, all those new usage and behaviors being supported by technology that were being able to define new experiences. This is what, as Dassault Systems, we want to help the industry do, is define those new experiences for the consumers, new mobility experiences. So in 2008, when we started the lab, I started talking to the industry, so multi-sector, not only the automotive industry, even though we have been a strong partner to the automotive industry for 25 years, but I think that what is interesting also as a point of view is we are covering 12 different sectors, so basically all industrial sectors, and you kind of see what are the different approaches. Also, we are a global company, so we are lucky enough to kind of witness what is happening in every part of the world. So from this industry in 2008, really what we were first seeing was that there was innovation happening in every bit of department that could be supported by our solution or application. It was, for example, material innovation. And here the car industry obviously was at the forefront of it with composites. There was strong innovation on composites that was going to be able to reduce weight of the vehicle and improve dramatically fuel efficiency. So this was a bit of innovation. Then there's been the innovation, obviously, of the EV. And we are today, I think that we have a great innovation system with all the people that are here today who contributed to accelerate this development of the electric vehicle that was going to solve one challenge, which is the emission at the carbon emission at the usage phase. So that was this innovation from this product side. Innovation from materials. What we are foreseeing also is innovation from the production side. Green manufacturing initiative. How a car manufacturer was able to drive innovation into manufacturing, being more efficient in resources use. What was the source of this innovation? The driver of this innovation was definitely cost, which is great, and this is going to increase. Obviously, we all know that environment has a cost, and this cost is only going to go up. But the industry really worked well into lean manufacturing and green manufacturing. But those were really somehow, as I said, innovations that were happening at different stages of the company, and I felt that there was not this strong integrated sustainability strategy that I wanted to see from really not only different applications in different departments of the global company we're working with, but really a full strategy leading to a true experience on sustainability. And so how can this happen? How innovation happen? And how can we support innovation? As I was mentioning, I'm truly a believer of systemic innovation, and I believe that definitely for sustainability, we will need a real systemic innovation taking into consideration a greater system than what we are taking into consideration today. So for the electric vehicle, for example, what we are seeing in terms of system for innovation, we are seeing the innovation from the car manufacturer, okay, and we have great example today of great experience of electric vehicles. We are seeing the innovation from the supply chain, and this is the innovation that can be led by SAT-3, for example, with the battery. Strong innovation from the supply chain in order to really make the electric vehicle possible without range anxiety and so on. Innovation from the politics, innovation and public pressure that really help accelerate this system with policy regulation. And then, and I'm glad to see that today also, innovation from the renewable energy sector. So I think that here the panel that is here today for you is really has been one arm of the system innovation for the EV. And we as Dassault Systems supported basically this collaboration across the different actors in order to build those next generation electric vehicles. But is this system large enough in terms of innovation? Why don't we have in the system, for example, the urban infrastructure? We know that we would need to have a stronger, better urban infrastructure in order to support the development of the electric car. Why don't we have a waste management company? We need to think innovation bigger so that we can truly define integrated sustainability strategy that will lead to best consumer experience, which are by heart sustainable. And so here, again, this is something that really I've been thinking, so 6 years. 2015, I don't know if you have seen, but for the first time, the International Energy Agency reported that carbon emissions have been going down from 2014 to 2013, even though we were at a stage of an economic growth, and it's the first time. So it's really the first time for 30 years that we have decoupled economic growth and carbon emission. It's a great first step, but we need to accelerate. And I'm thinking that even though climate change and carbon emission should be a focus and a strong focus because we really need to tackle this, we should not only have this in mind as sustainability science, but also resource efficiency. We cannot take decisions only based on carbon emission. We need to take the best sustainable decision based on carbon emission and climate change, as well as resource efficiency. And Anne-Marie, you were saying that definitely this life cycle approach needs to integrate really all this input from sustainability science so that we really know that we are taking the best decision. And then when we know that we are taking the best decision, what we need to provide is the best consumer experience. So again, coming back to Cheryl, whenever she talks about all this usage and behavior, basically what we want as consumer now are experiences. What is an experience compared to a product? An experience is serving a purpose rather than functionalities. An experience is providing me with an emotional link, an emotional bond. Definitely, my smartphone is an experience. It's not a telephone experience. It's a full experience of how do I enjoy every functionality and how am I able to connect with my son whenever I want to, find my way whenever I'm lost in San Francisco or in Detroit, eventually call a cab or an Uber. So it's really this full experience that make me so much connected to this piece. I don't even want to call him a phone, I mean to this piece of mobility, we would say. And so what we are seeing right now is really that the industry needs to provide this experience. And I'm thinking, what is the most sustainable experience that I have lived over those past 6 years? And it doesn't come to my mind as fast as what is the best mobility experience I've had? The phone. What is the best sustainability experience that I've experienced? And I think that here, but I need to put some thinking on it, actually. It was the Autolib in France. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, the car sharing. So whenever you're in Paris, it's electric vehicles, car sharing. You pick up at a station, you go wherever you want. and then you just drop it off. And I think this was the best sustainable experience that I have had, because I was driving a car, I knew there was no carbon emission, it was a sharing car, I was not owning it and I didn't care really, and it was enjoyable, even though they do have to improve a little bit. One of the things that was not perfect in this experience, they have no car seat at the back for my kid, for the 3-year-old kid. So I have to like bring my, if I want to take my kid with me, I have to take my seat and then put it into the car. But really, again, I am able to provide this feedback to Autolib as a consumer so that they can improve this experience. And this too is a strong trend that we are foreseeing right now, is connecting the consumer to the innovation processes of the company or of the system. I provide this feedback, and I know that at some point Autolib will have great seats so that I can take my kid. By this time, maybe he won't need one anymore, but for the second one, who knows? But this connection of the customer to this next generation experience, and then the ability to provide feedback from the consumer so that the industry innovates even faster, is amazing, and we really change the way that the industry is innovating right now. So it's true that I believe that we need to accelerate, but I think that we are seeing really trends that will allow us to accelerate. And the next 20 years are going to be fascinating in terms of innovation. It's going to be fascinating in terms of the industry delivering this next generation experience. It's not going to be a car, maybe. It's going to be about a mobility experience. And by heart, we want this mobility experience to be sustainable. So just to finish some trends to show you that this will happen faster than we think, and that the player and the industry need to be ready for that. Obviously, from technology trend, what we are foreseeing, IT trends, if you like, I don't like to call them like that, but cloud computing. We were talking about system innovation. You need to innovate within the larger ecosystem. It's not about having an IT system infrastructure in your company to innovate with your supply chain. It's about having an online platform that allows you to innovate with the city infrastructure, with the people, the citizen using this infrastructure or this experience, with obviously your supply chain. But really, this online platform allows to extend the innovation system that we need to have in order to truly think sustainability. Other trend, Internet of Things, connected. Everything will be connected. Products are connected. So what will that bring to sustainability? Well, it will bring the fact that we will be able to get data from the usage phase of the product. Again, we can reintegrate this knowledge into the innovation processes. We will see whether people are efficient in driving the Autolib, whether they get lost, we will get all this data to be able to provide, again, the best experience and to re-innovate based on this new knowledge. And finally, Fab Labs. So I'm glad to be here. I love to be in a place where I can feel, see, and touch. And Fab Labs, it's about that. This maker movement that we are seeing, and smell too. I love the smell that we have here. This Fab Lab movement is about, connecting people to the world of maker, touch things again, innovate, not only as the industry able to have plans, but as me, an individual, able to make anything that I would like to think about. Obviously, we will need to have some skills here, and specifically for 3D skills. Whenever you want to go to a 3D printing model, definitely you need to have those 3D skills. But again, connecting to this, every individual will be able to produce a stick for the car, whether the next mobility experience is a car, will be able to produce a device, any type of device, that he can propose to the manufacturing leader. So that really, again, in terms of connection, the industry will be connected to those makers in order to reintegrate those innovations into their own innovation. So again, this is really about unleashing innovation from every side. System thinking that allows you to define the best experience. Connecting with all the innovators possible, including the people, the consumer, and the maker. And so this will allow to really define the next generation of experience that will be sustainable by heart and answer to this new usage and new behavior that we are seeing from the Z generation, but not only. I'm not Z generation, and basically, you know, I'm all about experience, and this is really what I want as a consumer. So I'm excited. I think that really we were going to be able to accelerate, and that technology is there, that people and consumer is there, and that policy really help accelerate also this. So thank you very much for your attention today. And again, thank you for RICARDO to host me from France. I had a terrific experience in San Francisco, and I have a terrific experience here in Detroit, because I feel like we all understand where the world is going and that we want to contribute to it. Thank you.